Picture this. It's 1992 and you're Christopher Lambert. Remember him? The French-born, sword-swinging legend who shouted,
"There can be only one,"
while prancing through the Scottish Highlands with Sean Connery.
I hate you.
That was Highlander. Big hit, big energy, big hair. Then came Highlander 2 in 1991. And let's just say things got a little weird. You had your Hollywood moment, you turned down the lead role in Lethal Weapon. Oops. You starred in a murder mystery chess-themed film called Night Moves that bombed.
It's a good play, but risky.
And suddenly your action hero crown is slipping. But just as your star is beginning to flicker, a little sci-fi flick called Fortress comes along. And this is what we're watching today, and I must say this is Christopher Lambert's best film by far. So the film starts with some kind of dystopian, futuristic US border station, and up pulls Christopher Lambert and a woman in a car. Christopher Lambert plays a guy called John. He's in the car with Karen. By the way, I don't think I can see many filmmakers nowadays calling one of their main protagonists Karen, but this is a dystopian future, so maybe Karen makes a comeback. Underneath her clothes is hidden some kind of army uniform that she clearly shouldn't be wearing, and they're trying to hide.
Shit, why it keeps doing that?
Yeah, no shit, it keeps doing that. Why are you even wearing the uniform anyway? So we know what's going to happen. Clearly she gets discovered. They make a run for it. He gets captured, but she manages to get away. Next thing we see, he's on some kind of prison transport truck, and we learn that he's got 31 years in prison for trying to have a second baby with his wife. During intake, all prisoners are injected with some kind of bomb in their stomach. When we see the results of that pretty early with this guy who crosses the red line. The bombs, by the way, are called intestinators. I mean, how cool is that? I was watching this film when I noticed one extra, this guy here. Anyone in Australia will actually remember this guy. He's called Warwick Capper. He's quite a famous Australian footballer here. So I decided to hit this guy up and say, hey, can you just talk about your time on this film? The guy's a bit of a loose unit, as we say in Australia, and trying to chat to him was interesting. Anyway, back to the film. So John, or Brennick, he goes by both names in this film, weirdly, and the young guy, Gomez, are led into the cell where they meet Abraham, DJ, this guy with glasses, and the class bully who talks about his buddy called Maddox, who has a 187 on his forehead. Let's just stop for a second and appreciate the production design of this film. I mean, look at these sets, they look really cool. And just look at these robot things that are attached to the rails that just see everything. I don't know, there's something about those that just kind of look cool to me. So Abraham warns him not to dream. And then straight away, we cut to a sexy dream with him and his wife Karen, where we see a little too much of John's balls. And we see the dream is being watched by the prison director, played by that ultimate villain, Kirkwood Smith, who we all know from RoboCop and Red from that 70s show.
I'm sick of hearing about that little fruit.
I'm just going to keep calling him Red from here on in. John is then immediately woken up in pain from his intestinator going off. How come they know dreams of people, yet they can't figure out, how to read people's brains when they're planning to escape? So we cut to a manual labour taking place where they run into a guy who is, lobotomized, foreshadowing. We see Gomez being totally molested by the bully guy and his mate. John knocks out Bully and then has to face that 187 guy, which is revealed to be the great character actor and fellow Australian Vernon Wells, or as I know him best, Bennett from Commando.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
I'm just going to call him Bennett from here on in. They're all thrown in solitary confinement and forced to stand, and John takes the blame for the incident. He's then told to report to HQ. We learn about who John really is.
The most decorated captain in the history of the Black Beret.
And that Abraham is like Red's pet. We also learn that his wife, Karen, was also captured.
We caught her before she reached the far side of the bridge.
And this future seems eerily similar to current events.
Abortion is illegal, and that leaves only one alternative.
We then cut back to John and Gomez hanging out. And by the way, how great are these prisoner extras? There's some random bodybuilders just doing free weights. There's this food cart here with 3 guys getting lunch. And this dude just doing the splits while practicing karate moves. It's awesome. He asks Abraham where the women's section is. We then cut to see Karen's cell, where her heavily pregnant cellmate is scared about them taking her baby away. Then straight away, like clockwork, they're there to take the cellmate away. Karen fights back, but it's too late. Meanwhile, back in the men's block, Bennett's nice enough to give John a nice wake-up call.
Rise and fucking shine, asshole!
And they fight it out. By the way, I love how fight scenes in this era just seem like wrestling moves. Anyway, Karen and the girls also see this fight. as well as Red from the control room, and they end up on this retractable bridge. The bridge then begins to retract, leaving them both stranded there on the other side. John gets the upper hand, and when ordered by Red to kill Bennett, he refuses. Everyone in the prison thinks John is a hero and chants his name.
John!
Yes, John, Brennick, we're confused too. Bennett and John, now besties, stand together. Then quite possibly the coolest scene in this movie happens. The one scene I remember of this film, watching it as a teenager. Red completely blows a huge hole in Bennett's stomach and he falls to his death.
You fucking asshole!
John manages to find Bennett's intestinator and hands it off to Gomez before he's led off to his punishment through the very door where all this just took place. By the way, what a cool visual this is. John is tortured by this spinny thing, which feeds him hallucinations about his wife and baby. He lasts for like 3 days.
And no one has ever lasted 4.
Red forces Karen to become his live-in partner,
To share my quarters for the remainder of your stay.
in exchange for John being released from torture.
Yes.
John is released in a catatonic state, just like that guy we met at the beginning. Told you, foreshadowing, right? We learn that Karen was a computer technician in the army. One day she wakes up with her shared bed with Red to see him connected to the computer and learns he's some kind of human-machine hybrid owned by the corporation, and learns that the babies aren't killed after all, they're turned into these machines.
Oh my god, what'd they do with our babies?
Meanwhile, it's been months since John has been in this catatonic state, and he's showing some signs of life, but he's still trapped. Karen feeds Red some champagne and he collapses. I mean, how did she even know this would happen? She then uses the time to jump on the computer and get into John's head and release him from his catatonic state.
I'm awake.
John immediately gets Abraham to help with his escape plans from the inside, while John and his mates get to work taking apart and examining the intestinator they have. Karen manages to steal some holographic map crystal thing and gets it to John, and they use that to plan their escape.
Through this heating pipe.
Red wants Karen to divorce John and marry him in exchange. He will raise their child free from being robotized, I'll call it, and in return will completely set John free from prison. Meanwhile, DJ's figured out the testinator after pulling it apart.
This might hurt.
It turns out it's got a magnet on it, and they just use that to get the other one out of their stomachs. So nobody's ever figured this out before, that a simple magnet can get the intestinator out of you. The computer then shows Red Karen stealing the crystal from under his nose, and he gets fired. Suck shit, Red. Meanwhile, John and his mates start their plan. They place their intestinators on the escape pipe and stage a fight. Their intestinators are set off and they all escape. Red manages to take control of the computer and stop the escape. Bully tries to flee and he's shot. Abraham takes Karen to escape but is stopped by Red, only to realise Abraham's intestinator has been removed. John manages to overpower one of these robot Terminator guys, only to realise they're some kind of human hybrid, and Karen, Abraham and Red battle it out. John steals the robot guy's awesome looking gun and uses it to shoot their way out. DJ loses his glasses and is saved at the last second.
Cannot lock on target without intestinators.
How can the computers not lock onto them without the intestinators? That just seems weird to me. They all hitch a ride on the gun elevator and the rest of the prisoners cheer them on. This is such a great moment where John just hushes the prisoners, like it's way too late for that. They make it all the way up to Red's control room where he learns Red killed Abraham. Red then shows Karen being forced down into an operating theatre. John makes Red release her, but the computer refuses. They force Red to accompany them to the operating theatre, but then Red is immediately obliterated. DJ then jumps on the computer controls and guesses the password like straight away. Like, crime does not pay as the password, seriously? That's so easy. He then just types in install D-Day virus and that's it. Like, it sets off some kind of virus in the computer system. Then he's bloody shot up at the last second. He's somehow still alive and manages to hit enter. This sets the system into chaos and the entire prison is now overrun. Even though the operation is continuing, John somehow immediately finds Karen straight away to stop it. They then head off together. They get to the transport truck and learn it won't start, and then by pressing random buttons of a control module they've never seen, they manage to take full control of that truck. Anyway, they break free and drive right over the Mexican border. Like, the Mexican border is just some chain link fence now and metal gate. So Karen's water breaks and they pull over to this random barn so she can give birth. At this point, Gomez is alive, so we know he's gonna die. The truck springs back to life, runs Gomez over and rams straight into the barn. John shoots the truck, sets it on fire, but it heads straight for the barn with Karen in it, and it explodes. Psych, she's still alive. The end. Do you love Fortress? Let me know in the comments, and also let me know if you want me to review any other films like Fortress 2, Re-Entry. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.